Alright, changing strings. First you just clip them off. Wow, that was fast. Wire clippers, of course. Say you want to clean your fretboard, so get like a hydrator / cleaner, and then I'll use like a toothbrush to really get in between the frets, like at the edges of the frets, and then just overall a light scrub. A string winder shine. You can clean up your guitar while you're at it, and maybe if you need to make an adjustment for intonation, or maybe take the back plate off if you want it or something like that. And then of course a new set of strings. We're going to put 9s on today. So it'll probably look like this at one end and then this at the other. Okay, so you see where they're fed through? Mm-hmm. Right. Watch, turn over your guitar. Mm-hmm. So you just kind of push them through from one side, right? Right. So maybe hold it up like this and then, oh my God, so push that. There you go, push those through.
Yeah, there you go.
Usually there's like a white plate, right? But they leave a spot open. Where was that plate that we took off?
It's right over there on the counter here.
There you go. You see the white plate, and then you see the holes in it.
Right.
So you can feed the strings through.
Right.
Over here. So now this side. I have some fretboard cleaner. You have fretboard hydrator and cleaner, and we can spray that on there, and then I take a toothbrush, I scrub through it, or you can take a little really light steel wool and kind of rub it, but I just use like a toothbrush. That usually what used to work. So let's see this. I know, it kind of smells weird. Yep, and then I just take a toothbrush to spread it all out. So it gets everywhere, like that, and then this side, like a little scrubby sponge, and get the fretboard a little bit there, after you've gotten in between the frets, say if you see something. So we're just using, show the camera? Yeah, we're just using like I cut it in half, it's like some old sponge. A little bit of grime on there, so we just take a very lightly damp, like paper towel. I got it a little moist and then I squeezed it and then, I don't know, loosened it up and then refolded it, right? Yeah. Alright, so we're just going to kind of wipe and just go ahead and do a quick wipe and let's see what it looks like. That fretboard conditioner was red, so you can see that it's got a tiny bit of a red hue to it, kind of with the frets. Because if you go like this, you're going to see you're going to catch all on the corner of the frets, and that's just going to be annoying. Ooh, so shiny. Ooh, so shiny. Ooh, so shiny. Ooh, so shiny. And then now we're going to use a microfiber cloth to give it a good shine. Here, I'm going to get it so you can kind of see. I mean, you're not going to get all the tiny little scratches, but you'll get off all of the, it'll start to shine real nice. Microfiber cloth it. Let's see how shiny it is. Ooh, turn it around. Yes, it's very shiny. This is the bridge. Alright, so the shape that they take on should be the same curvature of the neck. You see the curvature of the neck there? The bridge really needs to be like set up so it matches the curvature of the neck. You'll have to set this up. Yeah. So you adjust those with a little Allen wrench. There's 2 little screws in there, and you use an Allen wrench to raise and lower each one of these. Well, I opened up my pack of 9s and discovered there's only 5 strings in there because I had pilfered my pack for a broken E string for one of my students, so now this is basically a dead pack, and that's very frustrating. So we're going to put on 10s instead. They're a little bit thicker, you get better tone, and the way that I undo strings, so Diodario's, they have the little colored ball ends, but the way that I undo the strings is I just go like this, I go back and forth, that, and they just pop open. And they're color coordinated, but hopefully you could be able to tell which one is the thickest and which one is the thinnest when you go to put it on, and make sure you pay attention to which one you're doing. We're going to go like this, just turn it over, right? And I'm going to make a mental note that the low E string is the one closest to me. So that one, I'm going to look through that. That's the gold. And if I really have a difficult time, I think it says on the, it's on the back here. See, it says brass is the E, red. So I want brass, red, black. Brass, red, and then black. I take this string and just feed it right through there. And you'll have to kind of wiggle it around a little bit. Well, this is always a little bit of a pain. So we're going to look in the front here as we do this. So I'm holding in the back. There we go. It's coming through the correct middle of the, and just pull it on through. There you go. So when you pull it through, you'll see that the ball end is what's going to stop it. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to leave that there. And since I've got the guitar like this, I'm just going to feed all of these through just like that. Okay, cool. So we got all the strings through, right? And then just kind of hold them to one side. Now the way that there's lots of different schools of thought, like put the low E, then the high E on, or put the middle ones. I think put the middle strings on first, and just don't tighten them up all the way. And then go ahead and put like the low. It doesn't truly matter, I think, because there's lots of times I've just went tie up the, tie up here, tap the, just go right in order, and be done with it. So let's do the low E, and then I'll do the high E, just to show how you're supposed to put them together. So I turn this so it's lined up, right? And then you want to feed the string through. Okay. Pull it all the way through. Right. Double check back here that the ball end didn't get cut up on something. Like actually it just did. So sometimes the ball end will stick through like this and get caught up like that. Like kind of on the side there. So you always want to give it a little bit of a jiggle. Right, and then pull it through. Alright, so now we're all the way up here like this. Look how much string there is. Do you see all this? There's a lot of extra string. We're going to cut off a ton of this. Okay, so what you want to do is look at the string about, so the width of my thumb is about an inch. So I want about an inch, or sometimes you can kind of measure, like you get used to your guitar and you know, just past like the next peg, that's all you want. Bring it back to there, okay? And then here, shoot this from up high. There you go. So I want to go like this, because that's how I'm going to spin it. So see, there's a crimp in the string now, so it kind of stays there. All right? Make sure that you're winding it so the string goes in and around. And then I will, now I'm going to grab my string winder, right? And I'm going to hold, I have this like funky technique where I hold the string and then my thumb is there, and keeping everything kind of organized. It's going to feed underneath. You don't want it to be on top, you want it to be underneath. So as it winds, it goes closer, it starts winding in a downward motion down this way. The string only needs to go around a couple times to keep the string in the nut and not having it too high. They'll use these little tension posts, I think they're called, or something. But yeah, it's real simple. You just put the string underneath it. It's all just feeds like right underneath it. There you go. All right, this is the B string, and this is called string locking. So what you're going to do is you just started to pull it around the post. And then you bring it back and underneath. So as this goes to wrap around this way, it's going to wrap around on this one. Let's see, I'm going to... So now, as that turns, it turns on top of the string. What that does is, because these are thin, really thin strings without any winding on them, like these have a little bit of they have a grip to them, so they stay in their place really, really well. Sometimes these will slip a little bit, so if we get them to lock on top of themselves, and then make sure that they feed down the post as you wind them. Alright, so now that they're all on, before you cut them, make sure you tune up and make sure there's not any issues or something like that or whatever, because then you could always undo it, put the string on again, and retune it up. Real quickly, you just tuned up to all the notes. Now go up to the 12th fret here and just pull on the string a little bit, give it a little tug, go through each one, and then I'll go back through and you'll see that they're all flat, because you're giving it a quick little stretch. Okay, so I'm going to be setting the height of each of the strings. They should all kind of make a nice little even curve, and you're looking down kind of at them underneath, and you can tell that they're not all lined up. They should look all kind of in a row, so that's kind of quite the disaster. Okay, so what fit in this one is the 1.5 Allen wrench. Alright, so you can see over here, so if I tighten it like this, see it starts to move it up. If I loosen it, it starts to move it down. And you just want to make each one of these the same height. Then kind of have this one, you want to start it, this one kind of low, this one up a little bit, down, down, down. And you want to gauge by the bottom of the string, not the top of the string, because the bottom of the string is what the height that you want to measure between the fret and the string. Maybe I'll use one of the strings and take a Sharpie and make a mark, and then I can just kind of set it like this and kind of gauge the height of each one when I measure it against the line on my string. And I'm going to gauge that they all look the same. And if they don't look the same, like the same amount of black is showing underneath each string, then I will come over here and make an adjustment. That looks much more even with the roundness of the neck. Now there's new strings, it's all set up. You gotta test it out, right?
Right.
I would play bar chords, like an E-shaped bar chord.
Okay.
Strum soft and really listen to it. Yeah. Yeah, nice.